For me, a lot of my work is really rooted in community. My work has really been in the Chicago community and then also down in Tuskegee, Macon County, Alabama. And my time in Alabama was really shaped by one of my elders. Her name is Dr. Muja Shakir, and she's a practitioner of something called deliberative dialogue. And with deliberative dialogue is like the co-creation of definitions, right? Like we start with a question of what, like literally what we were just joking about, like what is science? What does this mean? But really creating space for everyone in circle and like even sitting in circle and doing, you know, like these structures of how we come together, create space for us to bring our own definitions, our own experiences to the table. And so for me in my work, it's really a struggle, right? Like we all care about climate change. We all want people to be involved in the conversation because we're all going to be involved in the ramifications of this huge global phenomenon. But we need people to relate of their own volition, right? We need people like to be deeply inspired and be deeply moved. And what I'm really just looking at as love, like if you love for yourself, love for your community, love for your family, love for Earth, love for the environment to really be able to show up. And I think that love is enough to allow us to at least come together and look for similarities in whatever we're calling agroecology. But ultimately, the co-production of knowledge is something, it's like dialogue, it's constant communication, it's constant conversation, it's constant engagement. And it's kind of scary, but it's a very important, vulnerable process. And I think that, you know, this week we kind of just started to scratch the surface and to irritate the status quo that we all kind of operate in within our research bubbles and things like that. And so I think as we see agroecology grow and become something that more people can, you know, see themselves in, I think that is where we'll see what the co-production of knowledge actually looks like. It's something that we can think about and we can theorize about, but it's really a practice, right? And for me, that practice looks like deliberative dialogue. It looks like sitting in circle with community, people who may not be my community, right, but still being committed to a similar ground, being committed to the future and whatever we want that future to look like. Oh, the thing I'm doing, well, a part of my research, I'm actually putting forth a term called community vocabulary advocates. And what that is literally is a group of people who are committed to creating space for communities to identify relevant terms for them in their work, and also to create space for those communities to self-determine those definitions. So we come up, like, we have vocabulary like climate change, agroecology, but what do these things actually mean for us in practice in our community, right? And for me, through my work, I'm really deeply committed to creating and carving out these safe spaces for people to come with whatever their experience is, whether they're in research, in academia, in the field, or not, right? To be able to come and sit at a table and say, well, I'm a member of this community. This vocabulary word means something to my community, whether in my community or outside of my community, and I'm an advocate for the progression of my community. I'm an advocate for the self-determination of my community and the power that comes in being able to name yourself, identify what it is that you want, and then being able to move towards that to actualize it.